Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Risk Management. I apologize that I've been out for a bit. I had some medical stuff done last week, and I'm catching back up on stuff. So I know that some of you have posted some questions about your projects and stuff, and I hope to answer them all. And I apologize for the delay in getting you a response. Your projects are actually due on the 24th, which is the Sunday before I need to turn in grades. However, if you'll turn them in before that, I'll be happy to give you some feedback so you can go through and make whatever changes you need to make. And resubmit them. I'm perfectly fine with that. So anyway, if you have questions come up, let me know. There's been a lot of questions though about how to do the project and what needs to be in the project. Basically, you're going to go through and evaluate two things. As you go through your readings this week, I would encourage you to look at the life insurance part of it. I'm on page 216 or so in your book. It depends on the edition of the book that you have. There's a worksheet that's called a needs assessment. So you can go through and you can fill that out. It'll help you kind of guide through what you need as far as life insurance goes. The thing that to pay particular attention to, especially whenever you get to the income part of it, is that the life insurance proceeds are not taxable. Insurance proceeds are designed to make up for a loss. Because of that, they're not taxable. So if I were to die tomorrow, the insurance proceeds that my wife would get, she would not have to pay tax on. And part of that is going to go to replace the income that I make, because I make substantially more than my wife does. So whenever you go through and figure how much that she needs as far as income, okay, you need to figure it on an after-tax equivalent. However, most of our benefits, our medical insurance, most of our retirement, our dental insurance, our vision insurance, all that stuff is funded through my payroll. So if I were to die tomorrow, though she would not have to pay tax on income, she's going to have to go find different insurance, which can be quite expensive. So as you go through that, pay particular attention to that. Also, the reason that the house part is on a different line when you get to that is because your house is thought to be an asset that you can sell. I don't know if I necessarily subscribe to that. If I were doing this for a client, obviously I don't sell insurance anymore, but whenever I would do this for a client, I would treat their house just like any other debt. So do with that as you wish. You need to do whatever is going to be best and most comfortable for your family. I'm aware that a couple of you are in countries right now where they don't actually sell life insurance, or it's pretty rare. In Saudi Arabia, they actually do have life insurance, but it's a tiny market. It's a brand new market that's been expanded into, which I thought was kind of interesting. One of the reasons why that is the case, though, is typically in a house you have one breadwinner and you have very desperate income, and you could create some moral hazard. So anyway, life insurance companies are starting to penetrate Saudi Arabia, for those of you who asked about that, and some other countries like China. China is actually a pretty big life insurance market right now. However, if you're a student in the U.S., you can actually buy insurance while you're here, because insurability goes for life insurance is at the time of inception, not at the time of loss. So you could buy insurance when you're in Oklahoma as an international student, and then still have it whenever you got back home. So feel free to do whichever one you want to do. And if you're home for 6 weeks and you're going to be back, you can use Oklahoma rates. Whenever you get to the rate part of this, as I said in your project, your insurance carrier, whoever does your car insurance or your homeowner's insurance, probably is going to be a huge help with this. And if they have some kind of formula that's a bit different than what's in your book, that's fine. You just need to cite, where you got that information from. So if you call your insurance agent, and that's where the majority of your information comes from, just cite it as an interview. That's perfectly fine. Next week, we're going to look at property insurance and liability insurance. So the second option in your project you can do as you go through your reading next week, or if you want to work ahead on that. I know that most of you are ahead on your homework. So I hope that helps some with the project. I was going to post a sample. The sample I have permission to share with you, I can't get to open, and neither can the author that did it. So hopefully I'll have another one for you to look at here in the next few days. That'll give you some idea. But the biggest thing you need to do is just walk through and do an analysis on yourself or someone else, and use as real numbers as possible, because the more realistic you make this, the more meaningful it's going to be. With that too, your final, you can take it whenever you want to before the 24th. It does need to be proctored. Your midterm obviously didn't need to be proctored, and I apologize for the confusion on that. It does not have to be proctored on campus. If you want to come to campus, that Monday, the last week of class, I actually have the same class as a live class. You're welcome to come take it with them. Also, I'll share the information with the people in the MBA office, but you'll need to set up a time with them ahead of time. Don't just show up, because if you show up at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon to take your final, and it's going to take you more than an hour, Kathy's not going to be real happy with you or I. So please be courteous and don't do that to her. And if you're about somewhere, I'll help you find someone else who can help you with that. So anyway, please let me know what questions that you had. I hope that I answered your questions more about the project. There is a kind of a template for what the project's going to look like, or an outline for it on Blackboard. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks a lot.